Hey everybody, welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show, and just going to do a very quick urgent market update, as well as I want to give you a play here as well that you can possibly take. But before we do that, smash the like button, and this does really help support the channel. And if you could leave some comments, that'd be fantastic. Beat out those nasty spam bots. And if you're new to the channel, I do want to welcome you. And thanks for watching. Hit that bell notification, smash that subscribe button, and you will get the daily updates. So first of all, let's update the SPY. There's that M formation. Nothing has really changed. We did tag the neckline here and potentially create a double bottom. So there at 663. So 663 is what we really need to hold. A close under that, a daily close under that, and the likelihood of playing out some or this entire move down to around 634, 635 becomes a very strong possibility. Particularly the longer we stay below the 9 and the 20, the bigger the chance that they cross below. And remember, this entire epic move all the way up from April, when the 9 EMA crossed the 20 EMA, this dark pink line crossed above the light pink line that is not crossed back below it. This would be bearish, and we could be in line for a bigger correction. Remember, NVIDIA earnings are on Wednesday. If they are not good, or forward guidance is not deemed to be good, the market may not like this, and we may sell off. And with a whopping 8.5% of the market of NVIDIA in the S&P 500, of course, the opposite is true. If forward guidance and earnings are good, this will then turn out to be, in my opinion, a double bottom, and off we go to the races. So just keeping an eye on this M formation. Yes, the market is bearish. It feels like they are bracing for a potential bad news, and I think that bearish pattern won't play out if NVIDIA earnings are good. I think it will. The double bottom, I think, will be more likely to play out and bullish. So all eyes will be on Wednesday. Sadly, not looking so good for Bitcoin. The warning was there. Listen, the tribal trades indicator, one indicator to rule them all. And I love the story here. Where is it here in the wins section? My favorite part. Shout out to my dude, Tribal Trades, for his tribal trade indicator. I went on a short after I saw the red triangle. I took the trade 3 minutes in and out, and $2,264. Absolutely crushed it. Jersey's finest. You are Jersey's finest, because you're learning to be a trend trader, to trade the trend. The trend is your friend until the end, and then you start a new trend. Listen, if you're sad about what's happening here, it's because you don't know how to short the market and you're not a trend trader. You quite possibly are a pin the tail on the donkey trader. We'll talk about more about that this week. But listen, this clearly identified a trend reversal. Sell, 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 especially when it lost the 9. You could have gotten out around 120 and rode this down, okay? The tribal trades indicated there was a short bounce, rejected, short bounce, rejected, lower high. Trade the trend. The trend is down. The trend is your friend until the end, and you start a new trend. Again, this little bounce, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. If that continues, you can keep shorting this down to the bottom. What do we have? I told you about this head and shoulders. I told you that the technical target was 90,000. We've almost hit it. We got down to 92. I told you about the bear flag. I told you about the technical target of 92. We hit 92. Now we have a new bear flag forming. I'm not prepared to call it a bear flag just yet. You can if you want. And if it breaks down from here, the technical target, it's 87,000. Now the line in the sand, what was it? The 50-week moving average. Now, some people have incorrectly said that historically we're in a bear market. That's wrong. Unfollow these influencers. They're not well researched. They haven't done their homework. It has to have a second consecutive close below the 50-week moving average. So it also has to close this Sunday, the 23rd of November, to also be considered in a bear market. And then, of course, the MACD on the monthly, that now has crossed. That also historically has been, there it is, December of 2021, when that finally crossed a month later. That also historically, however, if Bitcoin was going some mega pump from here, this might reverse itself. I would like to wait until the end of November and we print a new December month for this to be confirmed. But at the moment, there is a cross there and the MACD, and that only happens on a confirmation of a bear market. So it's not looking good for those who are calling for the super cycle. And the big issue that I have, and I'm not saying that they're wrong. Yeah, maybe this will be different. Maybe we'll find a bottom here and we'll make a new all-time high. I'd be foolish not to consider that possibility. And this is why I feel I give a very balanced view here. But let me just say this. I find it very difficult that so many permabulls influencers out there are putting more faith in something that has never happened before, the super cycle, than in something that has always happened, the 4-year cycle, 100% of the time. In the entire history of Bitcoin, there has always been the super cycle, and they're putting their entire faith, life savings. That's not trading, that's gambling, folks, especially when the technicals do show. Now, listen, that doesn't mean that we're necessarily going into a straight line. That doesn't mean that we can't rally all the way back up to $117,000, because technically, once we have had 2 consecutive closes below the 50-week moving average, Bitcoin actually pumps up to the 200-day moving average historically and rejects. That's sitting at about $110,000. So we could close below on Sunday, November 23rd, then pump up to 110, and that would still be in line with what's happened before in a bear market. Now, I'm prepared to say we're in a bear market. No, because historically it's not being confirmed, but it's not looking good. It is close. And so I do want to make that clear for everybody that it is close. However, if you trade the trend, listen, this is why trend trading, in my opinion, it just seems obvious it's a win-win situation. When the trend flips bearish reversal, just like you get it here, you go short, you print money. You make money on the way down, okay? When it flips long, if this was to flip and we were to get some kind of a weekly, there's the bearish reversal candle right at the top, the tribal trades indicator has absolutely nailed the top of the cycle, okay? We don't have any green bullish reversal, okay? When was the last time we saw that? Here, and it went from 106 all the way up to 125. If you just sold when the tribal trades indicator went red and bought when it went green, you could have gone to the beach for 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 weeks and then done the same here. Or this one played out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks here. But same thing over here again. We had the December crash and then the April boom, just getting in. Sure, you would have gotten in not right at the bottom, but remember, I don't try and pick bottoms, because those who try and pick bottoms get smelly fingers, okay? Gross, I know, but you'll never forget that now. And so if we get a green dot reversal, that's when I'm going to buy. That's when I'm going to go in. However, if it comes up and gets rejected at the 9 EMA, then I would get out, because you've got to trade the trend. And so if I sell here and sell here when there is a reversal, I'm safe, because if we just keep going down, I'm in cash. If we reverse here and make a new all-time high, I'm safe, because I'll get a green dot or a green arrow and I'll get back in. So either way, trading the trend protects me no matter what. I am good. I am good. And if we get a green dot here and it goes up and makes a lower high and rejects, I get out and I sell and I'm safe. Trading the trend. Pin the tail on the donkeys. Just keep buying a dip that keeps dipping because of some hopium about ETFs and people buying, and JP Morgan says it's going to go to 170K. They ignore the charts to their own peril. That's why trading the trend is so important. All right, let me show you the play. Microstrategy short. If we lose 199 here, then their possible collapse down to 139. We're currently sitting at 201. So we need a loss of this level here, and you can short this or put a put on this with a very tight stop loss, people. Because we know if Bitcoin starts to pump, if Bitcoin has that close below November 23 and then pumps up to 110, then MicroStrategy will reverse and you'll get wrecked. And so we got to make sure that this play is a play, a potential play. Okay, we're not there yet because we haven't broken below 199. Now, whatever price if you don't know how to do options or put or know how to short, it's so easy. Just buy MSTZ. That's the leverage short ETF of MicroStrategy. I gave this trade at 982. I actually gave it at lower than that. But anyway, if you made that trade, you made good money up to $12. Where's the receipts here in case you're skeptical? MSTZ, there it is there, absolutely printed there, gave lots of warnings. There it is. MST went from $12. I actually gave the entry at $8.35. There you go. So so if you got in the entry here, you're up hugely. $4 move. Okay. Massive gains to the upside. That trade was given on Friday, folks. You could have been absolutely counting your money today. If you join the Tribal Trades Discord, we're going to be our low grandfather VIP Gold all access rate is going away. If you do want to get locked in at that rate until January 2028, there's a link below in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button. You'll have to join the wait list. You will have to put your payment details in there to reserve your space in the wait list, and you will get access this month because we will reopen the Discord at the end of the month, but it will be at a higher price. So if you do want to join the Tribal Trades Discord, you're coming down to your final chances to get this low rate. It will be going up in cost significantly there, just so you know. All right, so where would the entry be? I would take it off MicroStrategy. So once this loses 199 and we close below there, then I would look at taking a position at whatever price MSTZ is. That's if you're late, if you're tardy to the party. If you got in when I showed you to get in, then you're up beautifully $4 or $3 today. Obviously, it's dropped down a little bit, but we're holding there. The technical target to the upside, by the way, is $16, and I have another technical target to the upside there of $23. That is if and only if MicroStrategy does lose this crucial $200 level. I put it at $199 because that's where the fib level is. Technically, it's $199.34. If it was to lose that level, you can make money on the way down. You don't have to be a slave to being a bull only. You can be a bear as well. You can say, I'm going to put on my bear hat and I'm going to make money on the way down. I'm going to make money on the way up. You can make money in any market. You can make an enormous amount of money. You could also, of course, short Bitcoin as well. We have Bitcoin shorts in the Tribal Trades Discord as well. Of course, if we have that consecutive close, if we lose. And by the way, if this bear flag does play out, the level you need to lose is 94,000. So that would be the level, 94,000. We lose that level and then 87,000. Remember, we have that 90,000 level still in play from this head and shoulders here as well. So there you have the SPY, there you have Bitcoin, there you have the MicroStrategy short play. And of course, if you don't know how to do options with puts, and if you don't know how to short the actual stock, or your brokerage doesn't allow it, just type in MSTZ. For every 5% that MicroStrategy goes down, this will go up 10%. But remember, it goes the other way. If MicroStrategy goes up 5%, you'll go down 10%. So a tight stop loss is very, very important. One stop loss strategy method is when the trade gets into profit, can move the stop loss to break even there to make sure that you protect the profit there. This would have been a great play. As soon as it was above, you move the stop loss up to break even. And then, of course, as the trade moves up, the stop loss gets moved up along the way with it there, so that if the trade does go against you, you can retain and protect those profits. Well, that's all we have time for today. So until the next episode, or until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.